Embellishing tones, also known as non-chord tones, decorate melodies, enhancing their expressiveness. These tones, such as passing tones, neighbor tones, appoggiaturas, suspensions, ret tones, anticipations, escape tones, and pedal points, don't belong to the underlining harmony, but serve to embellish the melodic line. Embellishing tones play a crucial role in adding color, depth, and expressiveness to music through various mechanisms. They introduce melodic variation, create harmonic tension and release, convey expressive nuance, contribute to textural enrichment, and serve as vehicles for artistic expression. It's how a composer can go from a simple melody comprised almost exclusively with chord tones and transform it into something like this. The first type of embellishing tone we will cover is the passing tone. Passing tones, as the name suggests, smoothly connect two chord tones by stepping through a non-chord tone. They provide a sense of continuity and fluidity to the melody, bridging the gap between chord tones. Composers often employ passing tones to propel the melodic line forward, creating a sense of motion and direction within the music. We will look at Bach's Minuet in G for a beginner-level use of passing tones. In the initial measure, the chord is G major. The melody begins with the chord tone, D, then progresses to G, another chord tone, before ascending in stepwise motion back to D. Observe that A and C are not part of the G major harmony. This incorporation of passing tones imparts a smooth, scale-like contour and sound to the melody. In the final variation of Beethoven's Opus 34 in F major, we encounter a more sophisticated application of passing tones. With the underlining harmony in F major, one notices the abundance of passing notes employed, enriching the melody with a fluid and unrestricted quality, almost to the point of maximal embellishment. Neighbor tones. Neighbor tones embellish the main melody by alternating between a chord tone and a neighboring non-chord tone. They add ornamentation and embellishment, enriching the melodic texture with their close proximity to the principal notes. A great example of a composer using neighbor tones in the melody is in Beethoven's The Tempest Piano Sonata in the first movement. The first theme begins in D minor. Notice how the melody starts on a chord tone, A, goes down to a neighbor tone, G sharp, returns back to the original note, A, goes up to B flat, another neighbor tone, and returns back to A. In the next phrase, due to the note A being shared between the 1 chord and the 5 chord, those same neighbor tones, G sharp and B flat, are used. This is a great way of adding dissonance to a piece, this piece particularly being about a storm. Beethoven adds dissonance not through the harmony, but by adding chromatic neighbor tones which add tension to the first theme. Another way neighbor tones are used is not by adding dissonance as we saw in the Tempest, but by ornamenting and highlighting a specific note. For instance, a composer might employ a trill, as seen in the coda of Beethoven's Opus 34, to create a shimmering effect and add color to the underlying harmony, emphasizing a chord tone. Notice how the harmony remains rooted in F, while the trill on F consistently incorporates the neighboring tone G, creating a shimmering effect. Appoggiaturas. They introduce tension and emotional depth, heightening the expressive impact of the music. Appoggiaturas are characterized by their strong melodic pull towards resolution, evoking a sense of yearning or longing within the listener. They are approached by leap and resolved by step, typically in the opposite direction. Appoggiaturas are placed on a strong beat, which makes it a very expressive, embellishing tone. In Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat, appoggiaturas enhance the melody with expressive depth and emotional richness. Chopin employs these ornamental notes as melodic embellishments. These appoggiaturas contribute to harmonic tension and resolution by introducing temporary dissonances that add color and depth to the harmonic progression. These notes allow for expressive nuances in performance, enabling pianists to convey warmth, longing, or melancholy, enriching the musical narrative of the nocturne. Suspensions. Suspensions delay the resolution of a chord by retaining a note from the previous chord, creating a momentary dissonance before resolving to a consonant tone. They introduce tension and anticipation, heightening the dramatic impact of the music. Suspensions often evoke a sense of conflict or instability before reaching a harmonious resolution. Suspensions are typically notated by scale degree above the root of the chord. There are many different types of suspensions. A few might be a 4-3 suspension or a 7-6 suspension. The second movement of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata is known for its poignant and introspective mood. Beethoven employs various musical techniques to evoke a sense of longing and introspection, including the use of suspensions such as the 9-8 and 4-3 suspension. These suspensions contribute to the piece's emotional depth by creating moments of tension and release, which evoke feelings of both longing and fleeting happiness. A ret tone is usually an accented non-chord tone, meaning it occurs on a downbeat. A ret tone is approached by the same note and resolves up by step. Like suspensions, ret tones create tension in the music by introducing dissonance against the underlying harmony. However, unlike suspensions, ret tones resolve upwards, leading to a temporary intensification of tension before a final resolution occurs. A great example can be found in Mozart's K2 Minuet in F. Mozart uses the leading tone as a ret tone to add tension before resolving up, first to a deceptive cadence, and then eventually to the tonic. Anticipations. Anticipation notes, also known as anticipatory tones or preparation tones, are a type of embellishing tone used in music to prepare or anticipate a chord change or melody note before it occurs. A great example of an anticipation note can be found in Bach's Air on a G string. After a journey of introspection and serenity, Bach concludes this piece peacefully by employing an anticipation note. This musical device prepares the listener as the journey finally comes to an end, leaving them with a sense of tranquility and fulfillment. Pedal points. A pedal point in music is a sustained or repeated single pitch, typically in the bass, while the harmonies above it change. The term pedal point originates from the organ, where the organist can use the foot pedals to sustain a single note while playing other notes or chords with the hands. It provides stability against which other musical elements can move and develop, often used to add tension or create harmonic interest. In Bach's Musette in G major, one can observe how the G in the bass is held throughout the passage. Take note of the different harmonies that either complement the pedal point or introduce dissonance and color. Escape tones. An escape tone is a non-chord tone that occurs when a melodic note moves by step from a chord tone, either up or down, to a non-chord tone, and leaps in the opposite direction to a chord tone. In the third movement of Beethoven's Pathetique Sonata, the utilization of escape tones is intertwined within the main theme. Here, we observe an E-flat in the melody ascending by a step to F, functioning as a non-chord tone, followed by a leap downward to D, a chord tone of G major. Immediately after this, the D ascends to a non-chord tone, E-flat, before leaping down to C, a consonant tone of C minor. Embellishing tones are indispensable tools in a composer's arsenal, enriching melodies with their ornamental flourishes and expressive gestures. From graceful passing tones to poignant appoggiaturas, each embellishing tone contributes to the emotional resonance and aesthetic beauty of music, enriching the listener's experience. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to check out some of our other videos. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to be up to date with our newest videos. Thank you.